Recruiter here to review your resumes, and the resume we have up first is a success. This person previously took them over 200 applications to get any interview, and then after they started using my format and advice, they've already received 2 assessments and a remote internship out of 40 applications. So this is a success story. This should work. Let's take a look at why this data analyst resume is good. I don't have their previous one to compare, though. So what we need for a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders, exploring technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is, MS Excel, macros, pivot table, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines. I need to find 75% of that in 20 seconds. Also, I want to let everybody know I am suffering from a real bad migraine, so the reviews today may be a little off, but if your resume is good enough to get past a recruiter with a very big migraine whose eyes cannot focus, then you have a fantastic resume. So that's why I feel comfortable still reviewing these, even if I may miss stuff that is more obvious than I would have caught on any other days. So, also I do more than tech, but the tech market is garbage right now, so like 90% of the resumes sent to me are tech. Most of them are full stack and data analyst. So, 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Okay, degree, good. SQL, data visual were used, perfect, to build end-to-end pipelines and a smart engine for food inflation, right, nutrient alternative, perfect. Influence non-technical stakeholders, office to convert COVID technical findings, okay, perfect. Automated food pricing, processing using Python, Excel. They have supports reliable customer budget and time. Yeah, that has like everything I need, right? SQL, ETL, and data visualization, Power BI were used to build end-to-end pipelines and a smart swapper engine for blah, 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 blah. That's like already half of what I needed. You tell me that you influenced non-technical stakeholders, how you used it by using MS Office and PowerPoint to convert COVID technical findings into strategic emergency responses. So yeah, this works. So there's a common misconception that recruiters are keyword hunting, and we're not. Well, maybe like entry-level recruiters that don't know what they're doing, but they usually get out of that after like a month or two, you know, because everybody's new at one point. But we're not keyword hunting, we're qualification hunting. And a qualification, which I'm going to highlight because this person did it, is what you did, which in this case is this, how you did it, which, well, actually, what you did was build end-to-end pipelines, how you did it was use this, and then the reason you did it, that is the business reason, not the technical reason, which is right here. Also where you did it, but that just means under a job description. So that is what makes a qualification rather than a keyword, and this person did that. What did you do? You influenced non-technical stakeholders. How did you do it? By using MS Office and PowerPoint to convert COVID-19 technical findings. What was the point? Into strategic emergency responses. I would prefer if you gave me a little more detail about emergency responses. And since you already say data visualization, you don't actually need this second cert. This doesn't matter, right? The second cert doesn't really matter because you already show you have it down here. So I would just delete that. And honestly, is there anything else? I'd like a little more detail on this one. And then this is for full-time roles they're going to be applying for, I believe, as well. But like, if you were doing an internship, I would need to know how you... I would need to know that you could work well with other people and take direction and criticism. But for a full-time role, that is not needed. So this works. This works. Which means apparently my advice also works in Egypt, which is awesome. I'm adding that to the list of countries that my advice works on. The US, Canada, Mexico, Germany, other parts in the EU, UK, Africa, and I believe Singapore. They said, any tips for the 20-second rule? No, you did it. You did it successfully. This is how you do it. You write your sentences like this. I think it's good. In the top section, maybe don't just start with SQL. Like, I would probably say build end-to-end pipelines using SQL, data visual, and blah, 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 for a smart swapper. So I would probably just put built and pipelines first, and then put using SQL in that. Otherwise, it's good. Do recruiters check projects? Yes, if they don't find enough in the work experience. But I don't think you need it, because I find enough what I need. How can I find remote roles that specifically hire in Egypt? I am a U.S.-based recruiter. That is beyond my knowledge. The answer is you probably go to Egypt and then type in remote in the job search board that you use in Egypt. Also, this would work for a U.S. role as well. And I have gotten people in the U.S. data analyst jobs by using this format and making it like this. I'm in my final semester. Does my student status affect my chances? No, because you're within 3 months of graduating. If you were more than 3 months away from graduating, then it would affect your chances. But typically, companies hire 3 months in advance. Some big companies like Google hire way more in advance. But like 90% of the market, unless it's 3 months in advance, they're not going to move forward. But this was a success. This is good. This passes. Good job. So that's all I can do for this resume. Before we go to the next one, I just want to say thank you to my members for, subscribing to this. I really appreciate it. They get access to videos a little bit early. If you wanted to be a member, you can join in the link below. I just want to say thank you for supporting this channel. And if you ever need any more help, anybody, stop by my live stream. That's where I review these resumes. That's where I give people a chance to get their resume reviewed every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube right here and twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a project coordinator. So this person, what did they say to me? They said can't get any interviews at all. So this is, I believe, their newer version of their resume, because this is my format, and I don't think they've sent a ton of these out yet. But the most important part is not the formatting. I do harp on formatting because formatting is important, but bullet points are the biggest thing that we care about. I would rather someone have bad formatting than bad bullet points. Hopefully both are good. So this formatting is good. Are their bullet points good? That is the real test. And the answer to that is I don't know yet. So project coordinator, we need degree or high school diploma, project coordination experience, multitask while meeting deadlines, proactive problem solving, industry communication at all levels of the company. So this could be explaining complex topics. This could be giving meeting invites. This could be getting, my dog is trying to get me to throw a toy. So go get it, buddy. This could be meeting invites. Basically, you need to convince and talk to people, from the CEO to the janitor. So industry, communication, because every industry is going to be different. We already said communication. And then MS Office products, including Outlook, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. So 20 seconds on the clock. And let's see if I can find it. And go. Okay, degree. Good. Manages a full cycle hardware, software bugs, coordinating swaps of... Okay, this is not relevant. Performed root cause analysis. This has nothing to do with coordination. Built SQL-driven retool dashboards to enable data video. Okay, so develop standard operating procedures, Slack for data capture. Okay, translated technical operations and time. There's no... Yeah, this is... The formatting's good, and this is why you know it's good, is I can read, like, all the way down here. But, like, none of this is related to project coordination. I don't see that you can multitask. I don't see the projects that you've done, because this seems like you were just a coder. Like, this looks like a software engineer that accidentally titled it operations coordinator, except they don't have enough stuff. Why do I care that you built a SQL-driven retool dashboard? I don't. Why? Where's the proactive problem solving? Where's the MS Office, such as Outlook, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint? Where is meeting deadlines? Where is the project coordination experience? I don't see it. I don't think I see a single thing here except for your degree, which can be in CS, because that's fine. Like, this does not read like a project coordinator. This reads like... I don't actually know what this reads like. Yeah. There's nothing here. You should probably just delete this. Maybe there's more here. Okay. Co-led the delivery of a 1,000-hour data project, managing expectation for... This is more accurate. Built the framework at SOP. I don't care that you built the framework. I want you to stop saying it in these complex words, right? You don't want to keep saying these crazy technical things. When people are reading your resume, they have 7 to 12 seconds. I add an extra 8 because I can't explain stuff while in that time frame. But like, built the framework for SOP. Why is that a project coordinator? That's not proactive problem solving. It's good, but it's not really it. This is closer, because at least you co-led the delivery of 1,000 hours. I don't care about the hours. Data project, managing stakeholder expectations. Developed automated resource management within you. Why do I care about automated resource management? You are trying to impress me, and because you are trying to impress me, you will fail. Everybody makes this mistake, and I want to break you all of this. Never try to impress people through your resume. You will always fail. You have to just state what you did in boring, basic, clear ways. Like this. Like, was in charge of our data project to prevent our company from getting audited by creating MS Office, by creating Excel, Word, and PowerPoint sheets and explaining those complex technical details to our non-technical stakeholders so they would be aware. That is how I would want a sentence. This has nothing in it. This resume is almost blank, and this is why your formatting is important, but your bullet points are more important. Next resume. This is a resume of, that's not right, a Java software engineer. So what we need for a Java developer backend is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful API, REST API, microservices, CI/CD, object-oriented programming, Git, Linux, Unix, Agile, Scrum, Cloud, architecting your systems work, Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, Kafka, and rare but nice to have, full stack, DevOps, and RabbitMQ. So this person is an international, and my advice gets people a 1 in 7 on average. So for every 7 applications you send, you get 1 interview. The exception to that is internationals, because due to how the way the H-1B laws have changed last year, internationals went from a 1 in 30 with my method to a 1 in 100. And a 1 in 100 for an international is a good ratio. That is how hard it is to be an international. You're going to need to apply to about 100 roles to get 1 interview. And that's with a perfect resume. That is how difficult it is to be an international in today's economy. Because my advice, like I said, normally 1 in 7. For internationals, 1 in 100. It used to be 1 in 30, but changed to 1 in 100 after they changed the H-1B laws. So, 20 seconds on the clock. Can I find what I need? And I'm honestly going to need almost all of this. And go. Okay, degree. Good. All right, you need where you're currently located. Developed an ERP system using Java, Spring, Spring Boot to manage transactional and deployments. Okay, good. Deployed Docker-based services on EW2. Don't care about that. Microservice too. Okay, built secure and time. This would not work. Formatting is good. These sentences are too bulky. Also, you need to say that you are currently where you're currently located. You want to say, and also this is what you want to do if you're relocating. You need to put this here. What you want to put is moving to X from Y by Z date can move earlier sooner. Because if they do not see that you are not in the U.S., they may think that you are not in the U.S. So you specifically are going to need to put, and it's going to need to be here, moving to X from Y by Z date can move earlier if needed. And then here is we need more. This is not enough. Not for an international. This is okay, but again, I want more here, right? Developed an ERP system using Java, Spring Boot, RESTful APIs, in an AWS environment, and then more. I'm going to need 6 keywords in this, and it still needs to be 3 lines. Then this. The only thing I see is AWS and microservices. This needs another one. And AWS should be in your first bullet point. That is critical. should be in an AWS environment. So you are going to need more keywords here. And then the rest of them also are going to be here. No one is going to spend this much time on your resume, especially the competition is fierce. So fierce for a fresh grad with this. So I'm going to need you to put this in. I'm going to need more of these. I'm going to need them to be more condensed. These are too long and too wordy. I don't need all of this. And I need you to be razor focused on what you have. And then I'm going to need you to apply to 100 jobs a week. Possibly more. And I wish I didn't have to say that, but that is how bad the job market is for internationals. For non-internationals, you can get a 1 in 7, but for internationals, a 1 in 100 is good. So even with this is not a perfect resume because there are too many flaws in this right here. Next resume. This is a full stack software developer. So what we need for a full stack software developer is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful API, or REST API, SQL, Cloud, AWS, GCP, or Azure, backend, Python, C#, .NET, Java, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and extra credit for that stuff. I already let this person know because they're in my chat right now, which is where I review all of these. Is their font is slightly off. I think it's the spacing between the lines, so their font is a little bit off, and it makes it harder to read. But they are informed about it, so I'm not going to mention it beyond just now. So this is their second attempt. Let's see if I can find what I need, although the font will slow me down, unfortunately. So 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Okay, degree, good. Factory Reporters app with TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Azure, great. Availability, just Azure. Created a report builder with React. Node.js, SQL provides production reports for operation managers, good. Ship features and bug fixes for the ability to retain customers during migration to a Git more repo. And time. Again, this is the font slow me down. So you don't actually need to say Microsoft Azure. Just say Azure. I know it's insane, but they may not know that Azure is Microsoft Azure. Because again, if JavaScript is different than Java, which it is, then Microsoft Azure could in theory be different than Azure. You cannot assume in tech, because the second you start assuming, the manager yells at you, be like, hey, this is different. So just put Azure. Don't put Microsoft Azure. Just put Azure. And then the first bullet point isn't the worst, but I need more details. How did this help manufacturers improve profitability? Because it's not so much that I care that it improved profitability, but like I would rather you say Azure Cloud to help our manufacturers monitor or whatever. I need a little bit more here, just a little bit more to describe it. But here, created a report builder with React, Node.js, PostgreSQL that provides production reports for operation managers is good. There's no complaints with that sentence. Ship features and bug fixes for legacy C# RESTful APIs. Honestly, you really should try to put RESTful APIs in the first one. And maybe add 1 or 2 other things to this one to a Git mono repo. But again, what is... See, like, here's the thing. Ship features and bug fixes to in blah, 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 blah to help retain our customers. Like, again, this is a little too technical. You don't want to say during Git mono repo, just say Git. Automated CI/CD pipelines for Docker. Again, do I really care about Docker? Kind of. For image build checks, and Agile is nice, but I need more because there's only 2 here. So your first bullet point needs a bit more of a description. Your second bullet point is perfect. I don't have anything to say. It's really good. The third one needs more keywords because you should put RESTful AI up above, and you need to explain this a little bit better. And the last bullet point needs at least 1 more keyword because there's just not enough. So again, is this the worst resume ever? No, not at all. This would probably pass, but my goal is to get people the 1 in 7. This is maybe a 1 in 30, maybe a 1 in 40. So we now want to build out a little bit more about what you did for the business. But otherwise, it's a definite improvement over the last one. Good job. Next resume. This is a resume of a Python developer. So Python developers, there are two types of Python developers in the US market. There's AI Python and there's full stack Python. And it's kind of weird, but you basically want to have one or the other, because if you want one or the other. So is this going to be an AI Python developer or a full stack? I don't know, but what we need is Python SQL, Docker, Cloud, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, and then it breaks down into AI. Typically Moss. We prefer Moss with his multi-agent system, so not LangChain, LangGraph. Or you want full stack, and the full stack is different than the full stack is JavaScript, HTML5, CSS3. And then nice to have is Fast API, Flask, or Django. This person says can't get an interview from Mexico trying to apply in the U.S. Well, do they know you're legally authorized to work there? Because if you are not legally authorized to work there, none of that matters. They're not going to move forward with you if you are out of the country, unless you show you are moving to the area. So doesn't matter how good or bad your resume is if you're not legally authorized to work there. And I know it's pretty easy for people from Mexico to work in the U.S. The problem is the person reviewing your resume may not know that. You have to describe to them how it is easy. So here is what we need to do. First, I'm going to review it as if you were in the U.S., and then I'm going to do out-of-the-country specific questions. So 20 seconds on the clock, and that's the chat. That is not what that's there. Let's see. And migraine, y'all. Sorry. 20 seconds. There we go. Struggling to do basic tasks. And go. All right. Reach 20,000 users. That's okay. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Eliminated all manual workflow by architecting a Python microservice. This part doesn't really matter. Develop customer facing and fast APIs. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. So, yeah, where's the Python? Why do I have to go all the way down to here to get Python? This does not work. Not even counting the fact that you're outside the country. None of this works. Why do I... Also, you're a co-founder and you're applying to entry-level software engineer roles? No, that doesn't look good. That looks worse. Why do I care for a Python developer if they launched a B2B acquiring 30 actives by building a native? That means nothing. So you need to go back to the drawing board here because this is real confusing. I don't see anything for Python besides the word Python and REST APIs. I don't see AI or full stack. I don't see Docker. I don't see SQL. I do see RESTful APIs. I don't see Git. I don't see CI/CD. I don't see Cloud. Cloud is critical. This has nothing in it. This has nothing in it. This has nothing in it but Python. So Python was good. This part is good right here, but the rest isn't. And there we go. AWS all the way down here. No one's going to scroll that far down. So you need to delete this and start again because this does not work. These are what matters. If it's not this, it does not matter. And you have a bunch of hot dogs, which I haven't actually done in this video, but I want you to imagine that you are going to a restaurant and you order a cheeseburger, right? Just a cheeseburger. And the waiter says, you just want a cheeseburger? You say, yep, just a cheeseburger. So the waiter goes back to the kitchen and they bring you a hot dog with cheese. And you're like, excuse me, this is a problem. I don't want to be mean, but like, I ordered a cheeseburger. This is a hot dog with cheese. And they said, no, this is what you wanted. When you said a cheeseburger, you meant you wanted something with meat, which a hot dog has. You wanted something with buns, which a hot dog has. And you wanted something with cheese, which a hot dog has. So when you said you wanted a cheeseburger, what you actually meant was this hot dog. You would look at them like they were crazy and you would walk away. And that is my problem with this is filled with hot dogs. 20K USD by building a full stack coffee app using Flutter, Flask, hot dogs. React can be a hamburger. I'll give you React. The rest of this doesn't matter, though. This is a hot dog. Launched a B2B, acquiring subscriptions, hot dog. Python, microservices. Well, Python, hamburger, microservices, hot dog. Orchestrated end-to-end, hot dog. REST APIs, hamburger. The rest of this, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. And this is all hot dogs, and this is the problem. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. And this would not fly. Even if you were in the US, even if you were applying on site, none of this would matter. You need to delete this and start again. Now, on to the specific thing is, I don't know the process for somebody from Mexico working in the US. I don't know how difficult that is. I believe it's pretty easy for these types of roles. I want to say that, but I don't know the exact details of it, because that's actually not something I have done in my career. I've done Canada, I've done TNs, I've done a bunch of other types, but I think maybe I've only done this once, and it was like 4 years ago from Canada to the US. You need to describe how you do it. Also, you need to delete this resume and start again. Your resume needs to look like this. So what I need you to do is here, right, I need you to say, moving to X state by Y date, can move earlier sooner. As I am on an X visa, I will need Y. That's it. Because right now, what they're going to see is, oh, this person's not in the US. Declined. Because why would you hire somebody outside the U.S. when you can hire somebody in the U.S.? Because you have to deal with visa issues. Canada, it's a handshake. But even then, some recruiters don't even know that. So I need you to explain to me how I can actually work with your visa. Because if you don't know, they don't know. And I also need you to delete this resume and start again, because it has absolutely nothing I need. Because this is the only thing that matters. Everything else is a hot dog. Next resume. This is a resume of a CPA accountant. So what we need for a staff accountant is degree, CPA, Microsoft Office, Excel, Outlook, etc. Manage multiple active projects and deadlines. GAP, which is, oh man, every time I forget this. GAP is Generalized Accepted Accounting Principles, I think. Attention to detail, good communication. Nice to have is General Ledger and Oracle Fusion. I kind of want to add audit. I think 1 or 2 companies might want audit as a nice to have. So let's see what we can do. This person has a gap, which is a problem, but which unfortunately there's not much we can do. But they do have a CPA, and this is their second time. Their first time, their bullet points were awful. I don't think I saw like a single thing I wanted in any of the bullet points. So I'm very much hoping that they have fixed that for this. All right, so 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay, good. Location does matter. Certified public accountant. Oh wait, they're remote. Good. Took a plan B from the manager, all ready to turn work. Good. This is what you want to put for that. Led a team of 1 to 3 in financial audits for large companies, ensuring financial reporting. I need more. Manage multiple project deadlines. I need more. Analyze financial statements and business trends. Nope. Hot dog. All right, time. So, real quick note, and this is going to sound really weird. Don't put, what you want to put is parentheses CPA, then Certified Public Accountant, State Board of Accountancy. There is a small chance the person reading your resume may not know that a Certified Public Accountant is a CPA. Can it happen? Yes. Will it most likely happen? Probably not. That way you just double up for it here. I know you have it up here, but still. This part is fine. And then the problem here is, though, I still don't find what I need. Right? Like, I don't see Excel. I do see manage multiple deadlines, which is good, but I need more. So the goal is 3 keywords per bullet point. And you've only been at this job for a year and... actually, no, that's almost 2 years. But, like, you don't need 6 bullet points for a job you've been at for 2 years nearly. That's like a job you've been at for 4 or 5. I think you can do this in 4 bullet points. And this one can fully be deleted. Also, your Excel needs to be up at the top. I don't care how lame you think it is that you have to put Excel. Excel is up top. Examine journal entries using Excel. Good. Pivot tables, VLOOKUP to identify anomalies and potential fraud. I need more. Remember, 3 keywords per bullet point. 3 keywords per bullet point minimum. This has 1. Maybe 1.5. We're gonna do 1.5 for audits. The lead is nice, but you want to keep the lead the 1 to 3 staff engineer or staff financial people, but it's not a keyword. It doesn't count as one. Manage multiple projects by tracking deadlines, coordinating across teams, and keeping leaders informed. That's 1. That's 1 keyword. I need more. Maybe good communication. So this only has 1 keyword. This has nothing I need. Then evaluated internal controls under... why is Excel below SOX? I understand SOX can be needed. It's Sarbon's Bonkley or whatever it is. But the thing is, it's a rare, nice-to-have keyword. It's not critical. That is your extra credit. You know what is critical? Excel. And I don't see that until all the way down here, which people will not probably go down. So I need you to move this up top. And honestly, you could probably get away with only having 3 bullet points for this job. And then down here, again, there's really nothing I need. Like, I need you to focus on these hamburgers. I will say, this is better than the previous one. But you still have the problem of you're burying the stuff that I actually want. Stop trying to impress me. I swear, anytime anybody tries to write a resume thinking I'm going to impress them with my skills, they fall on their face and they do the opposite. You cannot show how skilled you are through a resume. That is not what they're built for. That is not what they're made for. So please do not do that. So what you need to do is shrink this down. Because there's no way you need 6 bullet points for this. And each of these only has like 1 keyword anyway. They need a minimum of 3, a maximum of 6. Like... yeah, there's just not enough here. And then down here, it's good that it shows how long you've been there. The problem is this is not relevant. So you can keep this, but it's really only like you have 1.5 years of experience. Because this is not showing this stuff either. You need your resume to be razor focused. If it's not razor focused on a particular job title, you will fail. And this is not tailored to it. It's... you kind of have to. So, next resume. This is a resume of a business analyst. So, what we need for a business analyst is SQL, Tableau, Power BI, industry. Because, again, your industry is going to change a bit, and I cannot be in every industry. As long as I know what industry, like fintech, healthcare, and maybe 1 keyword from there, you should be fine. Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Outlook, Excel, Word, Jira, SAP. I swear to you that unless you're a software engineer, there is a 70% probability if you have a white-collar job, you are going to need to put Microsoft Office. It is the most evergreen skill I ever have found in my life. Again, with the exception of software engineers, they don't need to put that. Requirements gathering and documentation, influence cross-functional from IC to stakeholders and managers, and proactively solved business problems. Explain complex topics to non-technical people, and meet multiple deadlines concurrently, Agile, Scrum, Waterfall. So, this person is stated, I am looking for a job for a year now with 0 interviews. Well, the first thing I would say is, if you haven't gotten a single interview in a year, double check your contact information. That could matter. But let's review. Let's see why this does not work. There was one part where they put permanent resident. This means green card holder. People may not know that permanent resident means green card holder. So I told them to change this to green card holder because this actually kind of reads like you're just living in a home in New Orleans. And I know technically both are the same, but again, it doesn't matter what the thing is the same. It matters that the person reading it knows it. And this actually did confuse me. But again, I'm not the recruiter for this role, so I don't know what they answer on the back end for that stuff. But anyway, it does confuse me. So, starting in now. Brain, tired, no worky. And go. Okay, Master of Science... Bachelor's, good. Worked on construction site, good. Decision support system, automatically suitable budget dashboard value. This is not what I'm looking for. Designed a Power BI dashboard solution integrating area, enabling teams to... why do I care about that? And time. So your formatting is... that's the previous one. Something is off with this formatting. Yeah, your formatting is off. And I don't fully know what it is. I think it might just be the margins are too much. Again, I don't know why everybody tries to remove all this white space. You know how useful it is to have this white space when you review 100 resumes in 25 minutes? It's great. Your eyes get tired. So give us some white space, please. Are these necessary? No. because I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anything about ECBA unless that's an industry specific. And your Six Sigma doesn't matter because again, you haven't gotten it yet. Once you got the Six Sigma, yeah, they may want. Actually, no, not for a business analyst. For a project manager, maybe. I don't think they're going to care about Lean Six. Neither of these are useful. In fact, even when you get the Lean Six Sigma, I don't think you're going to want that on your resume. I don't think that's something that a business analyst job would care about. But then we go down here, and the problem is the very first bullet point gives me no keywords, and it doesn't tell me the reason you did this. So this entire thing can be deleted. Now, this at least is good, but remember, you want a minimum of 3 keywords per bullet point. This only has 1 keyword. Build a evaluation framework using to, again, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. You cannot build something for stakeholders. I want to be very clear here. Explaining complex topics to non-technical stakeholders is not building them tools. It's verbally explaining stuff. It's explaining those tools. It's influencing them, and I do not see that. Analyze location and construction data using SQL. Good. That's the first time you did it. Excel. Why is Excel all the way down here? Providing insights into which areas. You actually don't need this part, but the first part is fine. But again, this only has 2. I need a minimum of 3. Collaborated with business stakeholders to understand requirements, translate them. Don't say collaborate. Stop saying collaborate. Collaborate is just a nonsense word. Just say worked with business stakeholders to understand client requirements, translate them into dashboard features to ensure direct. See, again, 1 keyword. Like, you actually, the first sentence doesn't matter. The second sentence, you did not explain the reason why you did that. And then you only have 4 keywords in 5 bullet points. I barely see Excel. I don't see Microsoft Office. I do see requirements gathering. You do have that. I don't see that you influence cross-functional people. I don't see that you can explain complex topics to non-technical people. And I don't see that you can meet multiple deadlines concurrently, nor use Agile, Scrum, and Waterfall. And this is why you're struggling. And the fact is they don't know permanent resident is green card holder. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board, fix the formatting, fix this, and then make bullet points that have a minimum of 3 keywords. Remember, I don't care how basic it is, the basics get people jobs. The more basic a tool is, the more likely you want to put it on the resume. The more everybody uses a tool, the more you want to put it on the resume. Next resume. This is a resume of an Android developer. So what we need for an Android developer is degree, Android, Kotlin. I always mispronounce that. Android SDK. MVI, either one of those. Git, UI, Jetpack Composed, RESTful APIs, cross-functional, Hilt, Dagger, the scale of the production that you've done, architecture, and then some of, but not all of these, Flutter backend language, so like Java, AI, CI/CD, and RESTful API. This person has a 1 in 50, which is not terrible, but they are outside the US. They're in Latin America, and they want to see how their bullet points are as they want to move to Japan. Which, to clarify, I'm a US-based recruiter. My advice does work outside the US. I don't know what Japan's Android devs want. I'm going to have to judge this as if this was in the US, which usually is close to what other people have, although like minor differences. So let's find out. Which also, I wonder, why do you want to move to Japan? No offense. Japan sounds pretty cool. I was just curious. So 20 seconds on the clock. And go. This doesn't matter. Boot camp, okay. But your degree, good. Develop Jan, Bank Live, okay. Using Kotlin, MVVM, Jetpack Compose, and Clean Architecture. We will play with all. Good. Optimize app performance by implementing cron, blah, blah, blah. Dependency injections with coin, doesn't matter. RESTful APIs does for fast, stable. Modernize the legacy Android code base by migrating from Kotlin. You already mentioned Kotlin to data binding. Doesn't matter. Agile and time. So you started off, well, kind of because again, you don't want. Sorry, let me clarify. You don't want this part. You do want to show that you're fluent in English, Japanese, and Spanish. That's actually a really big plus. You do want to do that, and then you just want to do it like right under here, which is fluent in those. That's actually really good to put. But then, do you really need the boot camp if you've already got a systems engineering degree? And again, you don't need to tell me the time you spent there. You can just say graduated. Like, if anything, I would probably put status graduated for both of these and reverse the order and make it look like this. And then we go down to here, and, you know, your first bullet point's really good. This alone is probably what's getting you interviews, right? You got Android, you tell me what it is, you said Kotlin, MVVM, Jetpack, Compose, which is what I'm looking for, clean architecture, I don't care about. Again, I want architecture, not clean architecture. And then you released it with over 50k downloads. That's solid. Barely any notes besides this. I would literally just put architecture instead of clean architecture. And then the problem is the rest of these bullet points are kind of bad. Like, nothing here matters. Nothing here matters. This is a hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. Until we get to RESTful API, which is the only hamburger in that sentence, and that is not enough. And then here again, none of this really matters. This is all a hot dog. So this bullet point doesn't matter. And then we go down to here, which I didn't get to. So you may actually have more qualifications down here. I didn't get to them. Like, collaborated with an Agile. Okay, good. That's nice. Workflows using Azure DevOps. Jira. Daily startups. Again, the rest of this doesn't really matter. Firebase. Is Firebase 101? No. Firebase doesn't matter. Used Git flow. Again, I want Git, not Git flow. So source Git, and doesn't matter. So again, you started off very, very strong, but I need you to keep going like that. Like, I want you to write the rest of your sentences like this one. Because, again, besides the fact that I had to remove compose, this is a perfect sentence. And this alone is what's probably getting you interviews. Then they go down to here and they see basically nothing. So I need you to write the rest of these all the way down here like you do this, because this is a perfect sentence. And I need you to make it look like this. But again, the fact is your first sentence saves it. You might be getting jobs based on that alone. Next resume. This is a resume of a front-end developer. So we need JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML, CSS, and PHP. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Is it front end? No, but it doesn't matter because every front end role requires it. I do not write these. I just see what other companies do. Next.js, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful APIs, SEO, Git, CI/CD, Node.js, 0 to 1, communicate with stakeholders, needs into product. Bonus, extra language, cloud, UI, UX, SaaS, TypeScript, Word, mobile, GraphQL. So what do we need? And I didn't even pull the resume up. That is how you know my migraines are getting worse. All right, let's see. This is good. So here is the resume. There is slight off formatting here, but it's not the biggest issue. So, all right, let's see. This person is, I'm looking for remote roles if possible. Well, I will say this. I get people a 1 in 7 for remote roles. I get them about a 1 in 35. So your goal should be a 1 in 35. And the fact that you're currently getting a 1 in 75 that is only applying to remote roles means this is probably a good resume. It's just that's how tough the competition is. So, 20 seconds on the clock. Let's find out. And go. Degree, good. I don't know if this matters that much. Let's see. Front-end engineer using Angular, TypeScript, AG, don't care. Like the rest of it, actually. Java, Spring, data caching layer. Use a comma, please. And you already mentioned to implement this doesn't count. Python, Playwright used. Commas, use commas. Okay, and time. Where's your JavaScript? Where's your JavaScript? Do you even have PHP? Which, no. So again, like, this is why it's getting some interviews, is your first sentence is mostly okay. Angular, TypeScript, although this doesn't matter. And then you do describe this pretty well, although it's a little wordy. I would just say to redesign a data-heavy front end into customizable dashboards with drag-and-drop widgets. And then I would say a customizable dashboard, delete, 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 giving operators full control over their workspace. Right? That's enough of an explanation. You don't need the drag-and-drop widgets. But I still need more, because this only contains 2 keywords. Java, comma, Spring, which I don't even care about for the... you know what? They may want that if you're doing a Java stack. So I'm going to say Spring is okay. Comma, data mappings, delete, delete, and then I need a better reason. Python Playwright, no. Used to test with Jenkins, just say CI/CD, and then the rest of this doesn't count. Remember, you need to describe the business reasons, not the technical reasons. Figma and Balsamic. Tech words are weird. I actually like the rest of this, but the first part, this has no keywords. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to need you to just put in some of the stuff here and explain the business reasons. Because, like, right now, I just don't see the business reasons for a lot of these. I just don't. And you don't want to say work experience, internships, projects. You just want to say work history. Internships count as work history. So this just says work history. And then this says intern is fine. And then down here, then you put your projects as a separate section. So, which I guess this is a project. I'm not actually sure what this is. But yeah, I need you to put in more of the stuff. That's why you're getting some interviews, because you have some of the stuff, but you don't have all of it. Like, I need SEO, I need 0 to 1, I need SQL, I need JavaScript, I need PHP, I need communicate with stakeholders. No, you did do that one. I did like your communicate to the stakeholders. So that is what I need you to do, and I need you to fix some of that stuff. You are on the right path, though. Next resume. This is a machine learning engineer. We do not know the ratio. They did not tell me anything. Besides the fact that they are looking for AI applied researcher and machine learning engineer. And I'm going to tell you, I know it's going to sound a little bit weird, but those are 2 separate roles, and you're going to need 2 separate resumes for each of them. So for this, I'm not looking at applied AI researcher at all. This might actually be the perfect resume for an applied AI researcher, but that doesn't matter, because what I'm looking for is a machine learning ML engineer. So what we need for ML engineers is degree, machine learning with parentheses ML for the first time. It is a possibility the person reviewing your resume does not know that machine learning means ML and vice versa. Hopefully they do, but you cannot ever assume that other people know what they know. Then cloud, any of them is fine. CI/CD, Databricks, Git, SQL, Python, or Java, C#.NET, but Python is the most common. Cross-functional and can communicate technical details to non-technical people. Remember, that is not building a tool, that is verbally explaining stuff through tools to them. That is the difference. ML frameworks and libraries, and there are more than this, but like TensorFlow, PyTorch, skibidi-learn, pandas, NumPy, there are more. I just need to see some of them. The scale of the systems you've built through a non-technical. So I don't want to say like 30% increase or 20% increase. I want to see like 20K users or 100 monthly users or whatever. But it kind of has to be a lot. If it's like 5 users, then don't put that there. Then training, tuning, and deploying models in production environments from 0 to 1. So let's see if this resume is good or garbage. And let's find out. So 20 seconds is on the clock. This formatting is destroying me already, and I hate it. But let's go and start. Okay, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. Oh my gosh, no, that is way too much. This doesn't count. And then what degree did you actually get? Maybe that makes sense in the area you are. That's confusing. Publication. This has nothing to do with machine learning. This has nothing to do with machine learning. This has nothing to do with machine learning. Projects. Engineered a time. Yeah, so this does not work. Where's your actual work experience or projects? You actually were a machine learning engineer. Architected a deterministic lane graph, finite state multi-agent system, coordinate 7 special agents for planning. This is actually what I'm looking. Why do I have to go all the way down here? Why? Whoa. Why is this on your 3rd page nearly? This is what you need to lead with. I will say don't start a sentence like this, but the rest of it is fine. It's actually like that. I like that. I actually don't have any complaints about that. Why do I have to go all the way down here? This is what matters. Now, remember, if you're being a machine learning engineer, that is different than an applied research engineer. These are different roles. You need to have two different resumes for it. If you just said applied AI researcher, that would be different. But you said applied AI or ML, and these are two separate roles. But this is way too technical and way too hard to read. Remember, nobody's going to read this. We have 20 seconds. Best case scenario, we get down to here. And in this part, I did not find a single thing that I needed. Why do you have this summary up here? This is completely irrelevant. You're not switching industries. Nothing here can be. What is this? Also, this is a little confusing to me, and this just may be where you are located in the world does not translate, and that's okay. But, like, what? Did you get a bachelor's, a master's, or a doctorate? Because I don't know. Again, that might just be the fact that that makes sense in your home country of origin, but in the US, at least, what kind of degree is this? I don't know if this is a bachelor's, a master's, or a PhD. And then papers, so if you're doing the applied research, that could be fine, but still, this stuff is way too technical. Like, your job is to explain these technical things as a non-technical people. And if you go to somebody that has no technical knowledge and you said, our paper, the dynamic subspace concept alignment for lifelong vision language model editing, has been accepted at the IEEE-ZVS conference on computer vision and pattern recognition. The work proposes a novel framework for lifelong knowledge of editing vision language models, achieving the state of... They don't know what any of that means, and they don't even know that's machine learning or AI. What makes you think that's AI? I don't know. They may not know that computer vision is. Nothing in there is descriptive. You have actually proven that you have not explained technical details to non-technical people. And then this paper, again, you do the same thing. And then this hackathon, that counts kind of more as a project. So this resume is all over the place. And I'm sure you're a very smart person. The problem is the people you're dealing with here, including the hiring manager, are not going to be them. And, like, again, the people that hire these research engineers, they're probably not technical. Do you think they know what all this AI is? No. Otherwise, they would not hire you for it. If they knew all this stuff about AI, why would they need a researcher? They don't. You need to completely redo this resume. You need to split it into two. You need one for machine learning and one for actual, like, whatever applied AI research you're looking for. And then you need to tailor it, and you need to make it very, very clear and very, very clear to people with no technical knowledge. Because this is a nightmare, and it's very difficult to find out what we need. Not counting the fact that non-technical, which is a formatting is all. So that's all I can do for this resume. I just want to thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you very much. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If anybody wants to join, they can join in the link below. I'm a small channel, and your support means a lot to me. And if you ever need more help, join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. And I will see you all in the next resume to help you get ahead of your job search. Later.